Everyone, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and start our presentation. Can you all see that okay with the palm tree? All right. So welcome to the College of Education session today. We are going to share some information with you, answer any questions that you may have. So just with the introductions, my name is Sita Ramnares. I'm one of the academic advisors on the Boca Raton campus. Welcome.
Hello, I'm Victoria Smith. I'm also an advisor in the College of Education, also on the Boca campus. Welcome. So happy you're here.
Hi, good morning, you guys. My name is Greg Gilbert. I serve the College of Education as an academic advisor up on our Jupiter campus, a little less than an hour north of our main campus in Boca. Welcome.
And Jessica is not here today, but we do have a graduate advisor in our office. So we assist students kind of all the way through their journey. Next, I'd like to have our faculty members just say a quick hello. Dr. Brady.
Hi, I'm Michael Brady. I'm the chair of the Department of Exceptional Student Ed. In most states, it would be special ed. Here, same thing. I'm also a professor, and we run a bunch of programs that I'll tell you about shortly.
Thank you. And Jody?
Hi, I'm Jody Light. I'm an advisor and instructor in the Department of Teaching and Learning, and I work with undergraduate students in our elementary and secondary ed programs. Welcome.
And we also have one of our students, if you'd like to say hello.
Hi guys, my name is Morgan Gosshoffer, and I'm a senior in the Exceptional Student Education program.
All right, thank you everyone. So you will hear from all of them throughout this presentation, sharing information with you. So again, we are so happy to have you all here today with us for this presentation. So as you can see, we do cover different campuses, and we have presence in the College of Education on our Boca Raton, which is the main campus, in Jupiter, which is about 45 minutes north of us, and in Davie, which is about 45 minutes south of us. So we do, at this time we are working remotely, but we have presence on all of the campuses for Florida Atlantic University students.
So at Florida Atlantic University, each college has its own office of specialist advisors. And Victoria and Sita and I, we all work for the Office of Academic and Student Services. We try to be that support for all of our students from the beginning when they start at the university till when they graduate. We provide academic advising. As reference, we orient students when they first come to the university. We certify them for graduation. One of the best things we do, or the most enjoyable things, is to have those field experiences available for our students, as well as coordinating student teaching. We also award scholarships that come directly through the College of Education each year.
So this is our Soaring for Scholars program. Now, this program is offered for freshman students who are disciplined, motivated, first time in college students, and it's mainly if your goal is you want to graduate within the 4 years. So what our office does is we assist you in that goal. So we provide, resources, advising, faculty mentoring, priority registration, and really just, we're there for you. So we're there to help you throughout that journey and really help you accomplish your goal of graduating within the 4 years. So if this is something that you are, that you think would be great for you, just reach out to me, Victoria Smith, and I can see if you qualify for the program. So these are some of our points of pride for the College of Education. Just to name a few, we are CAPE accredited. We also have an involvement in research in different areas. And the last point says our student to faculty ratio is 24:1. So you can see we have small class sizes. Once you get into the major, right, into your actual major, it will be about 4 students to 1 instructor. So you get to ask questions and it's a smaller group.
So here's a list of all of the majors that fall within the College of Education. And at this point, if you all can, in the chat box, just type in the majors that you are interested in pursuing, so we can kind of get an idea what you all would like to study while at FAU. So let us know what you're thinking about studying. In a moment, I'll have the faculty kind of tell you a little bit more about these programs, but as you can see, we have elementary. We also have exceptional. Secondary would be a specific subject that's typically middle and high school. So if you're thinking of secondary, let us know which subject area you'd like to teach. Art, French, and Spanish is set up very much the same. Jody will explain that shortly. And we also have the early care and education major.
Looks like we have 3 elementary ed interests.
Wow, okay. All right, so next I'm going to ask Dr. Brady to come on up to tell us a little bit more about our ESE program.
I'm walking to the front of the stage now. I'm almost there. Okay, here I am. Small department, about a dozen faculty, but we run the gamut from pre-bachelor's programs all the way through a PhD. Because of that, there's a lot going on in the special ed department. And we have our fingers in a lot of other departments as well. We do have a bachelor's degree in ESE. And we also share a bachelor's degree in early care and education. We share that with another department, with the curriculum department, and some of the faculty from my department, some of the faculty from the other department. We co-teach, we swap each other's courses out. But students who go through the BECE, the Early Care and Education program, take courses from both programs and might be assigned an advisor from either one of those departments. In ESE, it's uniquely from our department, from the ESE department. Now, I've already mentioned the advisor thing, and you've heard already about the advising from the college. Let me point out for you, for the students, that the advising that comes college-wide in the College of Ed is among the best advising in the university. These guys take care of wide questions, broad questions, and questions that you could never rely on a mere professor to get right. But when you come to your major, and when it comes to the point of, I need a professional advisor, I'm having difficulty with this concept that I'm learning in my course, or when I'm doing my field work, this is what I'm seeing, and I'm not sure if this is right. Is this what I'm going to be seeing? That's where the faculty advisors come in. So for example, Dr. Brady, you're my advisor. Tell me, back in the Stone Age when you were a special ed teacher, I know that you did it this way, but this is what we're doing now with some of the remote instruction. Where do you think it'll be in a year or two? And that kind of professional level advising, that's where you get your connection with your college professor advisors, as opposed to the broader OASS advisors, the college-wide advisors. Now, I mentioned we have 2 bachelor's degrees. We also have a master's degree. If you get through your bachelor's degree and you get interested and you say, man, I want to learn more. I got to go deeper. I got to specialize a little bit. I want some broader opportunities. We offer more than 5 different specialty areas: early childhood special education, applied behavior analysis, autism, spectrum disorders, and other areas as well. And you can do that. You can study that, those areas. Even if you didn't have a bachelor's degree in special ed, you could still pursue that at the master's level. We have a doctoral degree in special education. We currently have slightly less than 20 people. Now, when a college professor says slightly less, it's because they don't really know how many people they have, but it's somewhere between 15 and 20. And all of our doctoral students teach courses in the department. So about the time you're thinking, man, if I hear Brady tell that lame story one more time that he told in every other class that he's ever told, I want somebody fresh and new, then you'll have the opportunity to have a doctoral student teach you who might have been teaching in the very classroom where you're doing your field work now. It might have been teaching there just a year or two ago. Now, in addition to that, we have a very interesting program here. I'm one of the originators of it. It's exciting, it's fun, but we have students with intellectual and developmental disabilities, folks with Down syndrome, folks with other kinds of disabilities who years before would never have been in a college or a university, and even now would not be pursuing bachelor's degree programs, but we've designed certificate programs for them in supported and community employment, in community living, etc. And we now have this semester, I do know the number of this one, we have 34 adults who have, they're completed with their high school. They have intellectual and developmental disabilities taking certificate programs in the College of Ed and elsewhere, taking elective classes throughout the university. All of our programs in the teacher education program offer endorsements or certifications. In Florida, you become a certified teacher eligible to teach students kindergarten through grade 12. So it's an all-inclusive certification. We also earn endorsements. You'll earn an endorsement in ESOL, and we're exploring now how to help you earn an endorsement in reading when you finish your bachelor's degree as well. At the graduate level, we have, as I mentioned, infant toddler programs. That's from birth to age 5. We have the pre-K disability, which is school age. We have the autism, we have gifted endorsements, and we have an endorsement program in applied behavior analysis. Sadie, you could jump me up there one. This is a slide just because after listening to anybody talk for more than a minute or two, you need a little bit of eye candy. And this is what helps professors, advisors, and all of us remember why the heck we got into this field. Those little kids on the left, who knows? Do they have disabilities? Do they not have disabilities? Do they have developmental delays? Doesn't matter. They're teachable, and we're going to teach them. And we're going to teach you how to teach them. Some of the football players on the right-hand side, we find particularly vulnerable to little kids. And we love having these guys in our classes, especially if we think we might get them to be teachers in the future. Not everybody's going to play football for those $1 million contracts. We want to see them become teachers with $1 million contracts instead. When he was president, President Obama in his State of the Union reminded us of why we do early childhood. One of the best investments we can make for high quality early childhood education. And the standards in all of the organizational development, educational organizations remind us that there need to be standards for program quality and personnel. The bachelor's degree in early childhood, I mentioned the birth through 5. These are teachers, our graduates become Head Start teachers, teachers in private settings, child care directors, specialists in infant and toddler care, and they learn how to teach children with and without disabilities. It's not a certification program. Unlike the bachelor's degree at ESE or the bachelor's degree at elementary, the BECE is not a cert program, but you can earn your certification after if you decide that you want to work for the big school, if you want to go to the public school district rather than to Head Start or such. The next one. We have an enormously talented group of students in our program. These pure victims, I mean students, we happen to have the international conference that was held in Florida, in Tampa. I think it was 3 years ago. Council for Exceptional Children. We have a very active Student Council for Exceptional Children. Morgan, if you went to that last night, I'll ask you to give a short report when your microphone comes around. But the Student Council for Exceptional Children connected with these 4 undergraduate bachelor's degree students, connected with 3 or 4 of our FAU professors and went to Tampa to present at the international conference. And they presented simple things. This is what I learned to teach and practice teaching in my field placement in one of my classes. And they gave demonstrations of that. Standing ovation all around. It was great. We had about 150 people in the audience for their presentation. It was an awesome thing. But it shows you an example of how active our bachelor's degree students are. The next slide. We also have an honors program. The special ed department was the first in the College of Ed to build an honors within the major. We now have 2 in the College of Ed, an honors in the major that you'll have a nice stamp on your transcript, an honors court at graduation. It's an increase in marketability that shows the future employers, future principals and such, that you were in an honors program while you were still in school. And with us in particular, if you decide that your bachelor's wasn't enough, that you want to go ahead into the master's program, the fact that you were in HOOT, our honors in the major program, that gives you free ride into the master's program. Different experiences. We have movie night, we have reading night, we have topical exercises and such that on Friday night, if you're looking for popcorn and a Pepsi, we're the place to be. Good connections with faculty and others. You don't have to be completely in the special ed department to get some special ed. Those of you who are recent graduates, or at least can remember your high school experience, will remember that within most of your classes, you saw other students that had disabilities mainstreamed or included into your classes. That's a common practice now. Those teachers are only effective if they know how to teach those students who don't learn easily. All the elementary ed teachers take at least 1 class in general special ed and special ed methods, as well as a classroom management class. So those of you who are looking toward elementary ed, we'll see you anyway, but you'll be missing some of the excitement that you get from a bachelor's program. I'll turn this back over. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Brady. That's great information about our ESE program. Next, I would like to introduce Jody Light to come on back up from our Teaching and Learning Department to tell us a little bit more about their programs.
Hi, everyone. Welcome on a Saturday morning. Thank you, Dr. Brady. Wanted to talk to you about our elementary ed program. We're really proud of what we put out there. We're not just putting out warm bodies in the field in a very needed profession, but we're trying to prepare you to really get out there and see what is in the field. We have a number of opportunities, whether it be for elementary education or secondary education. You can see we have an elementary education program that has what we call with a reading and an ESOL endorsement. So you would be certified in elementary education K through 6, but in addition to that, you have 2 extra feathers in your cap because you'll have an ESOL endorsement and a reading endorsement, which in Florida is something that is required. People don't realize that everybody graduates with a 2-year temporary, and to get the permanent certificate, you need a reading endorsement, an ESOL endorsement, and then at least, successful year at a job. Well, you're going to have 2 of the 3 already. You'll have those preparatory trainings. But if you're interested in secondary education, you can see we have a number of English, math, and the sciences, the social sciences. It really is an opportunity for you to not only learn in lecture what's out there, but also we have many of these courses that field components. So you really see theory going into practice, and starts, small, where you're sitting on the steps of the pool observing, and then we really get you swimming around more with opportunities for you to have more intensive kind of placements, one-on-one, whole class, and those of that nature. Okay, next. In addition to the course that I mentioned, we also have in the arts, we have established a relationship where you can get your certification and teach art or Spanish or the French languages. So like I said, education is wonderful because you just have so many opportunities to springboard, and get out there and work with children in all different capacities. Think of me as an extra player to the team because, as Dr. Brady mentioned, Student Services is a wonderful group to work with. They are great. I've worked with them for over 20 years, and they will give you the broad spectrum, and they'll talk to you about all the opportunities within all the departments within our college. And then I come into your life when you get to the next part. The next part is when you are formally accepted into the College of Education, and you can see the requirements we have when you accumulate your 2.5 or higher GPA, when you pass one of the first exams called a general knowledge exam, which I'll talk about in a minute, and then you get assigned to me. And so here's another opportunity, like Dr. Brady said, where you've gotten great guidance beforehand. Now I'm going to talk to you about what you need in terms of the major, in terms of your classroom experiences and lecture, both in the fields. Just to go back for a second, the general knowledge exam. This is something that you can think about actually sooner than later. It's a test. It's one of 3 tests that you'll have to take to get certified before you graduate. And this first test is important because it's going to get you to the next step. It's general information that's fresh in your head now in high school. So honestly, we tell students, don't wait. And I use the example all the time. I said, no one likes to take a test. We all get that. Whether you're good at them or not, who wants to take a test, prep for a test, pay for a test, and actually take the exam? But if you have a meal and you don't like broccoli, get it off the plate, enjoy the rest of the meal, and then so you can be able to move on. And the information, some of that information that's on the test is stuff that you're learning now in high school. So while it's fresh in your head, you forget all some of this stuff, prep and get it off that plate. Enjoy that meal. Okay. Our program, as mentioned, is a state-approved program. We're nationally accredited. And you have many, many opportunities for field components. Like I said before, some of them are little, where you're just maybe 15 hours in a classroom observing, and some of them are more intensive, where you are working on one, and then super intensive, where you're teaching lessons and before your internship. So you're not blindsided. Are you going to learn everything beforehand? No, but you certainly get to move around the pool, get used to that temperature of the pool by having these opportunities. So it's wonderful because not only do you have preparedness, but like I said, we're nationally accredited. So you can stay in Florida, or you have the opportunity just to move around because life gives us curveballs, good and bad. And sometimes you might be going elsewhere. So, it's something that we're proud because of the flexibility component as well. I'm here. I'm in the College of Education, but specifically in the Department of Teaching and Learning. I pride myself to being a student advocate. I enjoy working with the kids. We sit down and I'm not just going to give you a list of courses that you have to do to finish up the degree. You can read a list, you get an information sheet, you go there. But we'll talk about and strategize what are good classes to take together. When should you do the field components? When should you study for these other tests after the general knowledge tests and things like that? And, I've been around the university a long time. I've worn many hats here. I'm a formerly classroom teacher myself. So I try to make it real. I try to make it personal in the sense that, like I said, you feel like you are service, because we're here to help you to be successful. When you're successful, we feel good about it and we're successful.
All right. Thank you so much, Jody.
Yep.
Next, I'm going to have Greg come on back up to introduce our student.
Sure. I think this is, one of my favorite pieces. We are very super fortunate to have with us this morning one of our current seniors in the ESC program, Ms. Morgan Glasshofer. And Morgan, thanks for making this time available to us, a student on a Saturday morning. I don't know if I would be doing this when I was a senior at the university, but I am glad that you're with us. And I just wanted to ask a couple real brief questions that I think are the people that have joined us, the students that have joined us this morning would benefit hearing. And just how has your experience been in the ESE program at FAU?
Well, thank you for that introduction. My experience in the ESE program has been really great. I know that I have such a support network, not only in my colleagues and the fellow students I'm with, but the advisors and the professors. The professors have been absolutely amazing, especially during this time being virtual and not being able to be in the classroom. They've been extremely accommodating with my assignments and just giving me all the knowledge and support needed.
Yeah, so you mentioned maybe some of that remote learning piece. I think I've always thought that one of the strongest parts of our programs, our undergraduate programs, has been the field experience, getting into the schools and really connecting theory with the practice of being in the classroom. So I have to wonder how that field experience has been for you so far since the pandemic.
Yeah, I know during my sophomore and junior year, I was able to be in the classroom and work directly with the teacher and the students, whether observing or just helping along. But now with it being virtual and having to actually implement lessons and teach students, it hasn't been necessarily ideal because you do want to be in the classroom and you do want to make that connection. But I know that I'm getting the best out of it. I would still teach the same content, give or take a couple activities. I know that I know being able to adapt to the environment is really a key aspect of education because things don't always go the way it's planned. So having this background knowledge of adapting to virtual and learning more technology has been extremely beneficial. So not the best, but really great at the same time.
That's cool. Thank you for sharing that. Have you been involved in any other activities at the university that's, just contributed to your overall experience?
Yeah, I'm actually Vice President of Student Council for Exceptional Children. So that's been really great, meeting more colleagues and getting information from Council of Exceptional Children. I just joined the Honor Society, Educational Honor Society. So that's been really fun. I'm doing the mentorship program with Academy for Community Inclusion as well. So I have a couple mentees from the program Dr. Brady was talking about, and that's been really great connecting with them and just learning more.
Oh, that's cool. I'm glad you had that experience as well. I served as a mentor one of the first semesters that program had started and found it very rewarding and very meaningful experience. So, Morgan mentioned how being involved kind of contributed to her overall experience. And statistics have shown for many, many years that there's a much higher retention rate, much higher graduation rate among students who make intentional efforts to stay connected, to be involved in different activities. And we just wanted to at least list in this slide some of those activities that students have that are specific to the College of Ed. There's many more than this, certainly university-wide, but we would encourage you is when you come to FAU to really try to make efforts to stay connected, especially during this pandemic. Hopefully in this next year, we'll be kind of coming out of a lot of those restrictions. Things will probably never return to exactly what we remember them to be, but at the same token, there's always opportunities and staying connected, staying involved in an activity like this will definitely help in terms of improving your overall experiencing and increasing your chances of graduating on time. I don't know if Jody, Professor Light, she's been involved as a mentor for the Future Educators of America. I never get the acronym right. I'm always afraid of saying something I shouldn't. But Jody, I didn't know if you wanted to add to that in terms of any of the activities that you've been sharing with the students in that group.
Yeah, sure. I'm really proud of this group. This is a national organization, but FAU resurrected this chapter a few years ago. It's a really involved group. It's a small group, but we're growing a lot. And we have a very, very active group in terms of just other people in the education major. It's open to not only elementary and secondary, it's open to ESC, it's open to anyone in the College of Ed. We've had a lot of opportunities where students work with, where students work, I've got 3, they were quiet until now.
All right, I didn't mean to
We have opportunities for them to do study groups to prepare for those general knowledge tests and the other subject area tests like I talked about. We've had veteran teachers come talk to our students, opportunity to do some volunteer work in the field. So it's really an opportunity to get to meet other people virtually and hopefully eventually again in person, but opportunity to be in the same boat where you are. So we're really proud of this group.
Thanks, Jody. Appreciate that. And I think this just goes to, it just kind of adds to what we were talking about before, just in terms of staying connected. And during this time of pandemic, taking advantage of some of the learning tools that we have. The university as well as the college has tried to make a lot of new platforms that will allow students to stay connected in their classes and continue to do research and be as involved as possible as one can be. So we're always recommending to new students, make sure they have a nice quiet study area, that they have a good internet connection. Stay connected with your faculty. When faculty reach out to you, reply to them. And when you have questions that are related to the class, don't hesitate to reach out to them as well. So I think that's our message. We're here to help. We're here to support you. We need to stay connected because we're all in this together.
Thanks, Greg. And, again, all of our contact information is there. We also have our general advising, COE advising at fau.edu email address. So we encourage you to reach out to us. Maybe you're just kind of starting this journey. You want to get more information. You want to see what classes you might be taking when you enter FAU. We can share that information with you. Maybe you're applying. Claudia is available. She can assist as well. But just know that even though things are different right now, we are here along with you through this process to assist you and to help you to successfully proceed. So at this point, if you guys feel comfortable turning on your mic, if you want to ask any questions, or you can type it in the chat box. There's the advisors, myself, Greg, Victoria, and there's also the faculty members here. If you wanted to find out more about the classes and how it's set up, whatever your questions may be, please feel free to turn on those mics or put in your chat questions at this point. And maybe you don't feel comfortable, you can send us an email as well. So I'll open the floor to you all now, our students. Did we cover everything? Maybe we covered everything and you don't have any questions. Claudia, maybe I'll ask you to kind of chime in now to kind of give us direction as to like what's next and what our students can be looking forward to today.
Of course. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you, Morgan, for joining us today. I know it's not easy for a student to jump in on Saturdays, and thank you, College of Education, for your session today. It was very informative. I'm super excited for you all. So yes, we have additional sessions offered today. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link in the chat right now. So if you would like to join those additional sessions, get more information, and also watch a student panel, you can do so through the Socio link that I just provided you all with. You have to make sure that you go to the left side of the screen and press the agenda and join in on those live streams. If you have any questions in regards to the application process, go ahead and ask that now. I do see a question in the chat. How many students are in a typical class? Does anyone, I can answer that. Our student to instructor ratio is 24:1. So we have 24 students to 1 instructor. So it's a very intimate setting at the public university level. So we have that opportunity to speak with our professors, ask our instructors those questions that we want to ask, and kind of just, get to know our classmates and everyone. Do we have any other questions?
Let me ask Morgan to chip in and tell us the number of classmates that you had in 2 or 3 of the classes that you took. The ESE classes, but also the elementary classes.
Elementary education classes, probably around the 24 area. ESE, it's maybe around 15, 12 to 15. It's more intimate. I know I have like a group chat with all of my students, all of my fellow students, and we text each other all the time, like making sure we're all on the same page. So having this intimate class and smaller classes has really been beneficial. Yeah. Let's see. So are the classes now in person or online? So as of right now, our courses are offered online. If you have lab courses, they're going to be in person for the spring semester and for fall 2021. We are unsure how that's going to look as of this moment. We are following CDC guidelines. I know for the spring semester, there is talk. It's not guaranteed or anything because we know everything changes every day. But there is talk that there will be classes offered in person, but it's the student's choice to decide if they would like to come in person or if they would like to continue their education remotely. Any other questions?
I know often there's a question that some people are afraid to ask out loud. But I'll go ahead and take the risk and I'll be your voice for now. Are students allowed to cut class to go to the beach? Well, there are a few of us that kind of like the beach, and those of us who spend time underwater or in boats or fishing or just running up and down the beach, making, being silly. As long as you're doing that with us, it's okay to cut class. But most of the time, your professors and your instructors actually show up for class, and they really do want you to show up for class. But make no mistake, there are many instructors here that in the middle of a technical point that they're teaching will pause, look out the window, look toward the ocean and say, yeah, okay, let's cut this class a little bit shorter today and we'll head toward the beach. But that's an unofficial announcement and not policy.
Okay, so seeing none, hearing none, I will have to just, throw that out there. Applications are open now. The application process is pretty simple. I'm pretty sure that you saw it in the session before, but simply we just apply, submit our grades, and then go through our application status portal to submit our test scores. So yes, we are still requiring those test scores per the Florida Board of Governors. It's still a requirement for any public university in the state of Florida. Fortunately, we are rolling admissions, so you do have until December 1st if you would like to be considered for merit-based scholarships. And then you also have until April 1st to submit those applications. I will plug in, you want to apply early simply because we could see the date that you applied. That gives us more room to advocate for you, and it's just more room for us to kind of advise you. So if we see certain grades and certain test scores and whatnot, we'll let you know, okay, you're on the right track. If not, this is what we need to do in order for you to join FAU eventually. So the earlier you apply, the better. I know that you may not have your test scores right now, or you probably do, but they're not something that you're happy with. Still apply just because it gives us more room to assist you. And we don't want to scurry at last minute towards May 1st with deciding where we would like to go in the future. I think having it all complete in the very beginning and whatnot is the best route, especially if you are coming from out of state. Our housing does relatively tend to fill up fast. So if you want to live on campus and not worry about anything, just make sure that you do submit your application at least before December 1st. I know that Summer and Chelsea loves to preach that. So make sure that you submit it before December 1st so you can be considered for those scholarships, and also that you are to see if we are on the right track. But if you don't have any other questions, feel free just to press on that link and then join us for our other sessions today. We do have another info session at 1:30, and then like I said before, the student panel is before, and we also have a housing session today. So we would love to see you all there, and so that you can get more information, as much information as you can, virtually speaking, during this pandemic. But we would love to see you all next year. Love having students in my office, so definitely join us next year, okay? Awesome. Does anyone else have anything to say? Okay, well, I hope you all continue to stay safe and healthy, and I look forward to seeing you all next year, okay?
Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming to visit the College of Education.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time. We hope you stay safe and healthy, and we appreciate you being here today. Thank you.
Have a good day, everyone.